I don't believe it.
No one believes it. That's how come when you talk about who the Street Fighter 3 winner is, people are like, Fred? This is Capcom's canon. And so you know, did Ryu sucker punch Scott? Did he do this? It's like, this is piecing it together as best we can, and it would be wonderful to have definitive statements from Capcom about this. Maybe we'll get them, maybe we won't. It's always been piecing stuff together.
I hope that the story for Street Fighter 6 is we keep having these tournaments and they're not going well, and all I want to do is have a tournament that works, and it's like Bison and he's all like, you know, super sweet 16'd out about trying to get a tournament that just finishes. All right, what's your segment?
All right. I want to talk about, first off, if people don't mind, if you don't mind leaving a like here, it really helps out the channel a ton. It just, if you take just a second to do it, it's the best way to see us like do more content here going forward. Please leave a like. It helps a ton. But, John, I want to talk about the official Street Fighter tournament winners, according to canon. These are the characters who have won the tournaments that happened in game, and you know there might be less tournaments than people realize because not every game had a tournament associated with it. Sometimes the characters are just running around fighting, right?
Doesn't Ryu just win them all?
No, he does not. You would think that. You would think that. Actually, Ryu's only won one tournament, and we'll go ahead and start there. That is Street Fighter 1. So spoilers, Ryu only won this one tournament. And this one's super well documented. Sagat is basically the Muay Thai like champion, and it seems like he won some competitions here before, but not the World Warrior tournament or whatever, right? And this is a 7'5" man. That probably would give you some pretty good advantages in martial arts competitions with, you know, if you're 7'5" and highly athletic, right? So anyway, it's a little bit ambiguous what tournament Sagat won before them, but he's basically set up to go up against Ryu, and he's the Muay Thai champion. Ryu kicks his butt, gives him a scar, nearly kills him doing that, and there we are. So Ryu is the first winner in Street Fighter 1.
I gotta ask you, was it a sucker punch uppercut? Or was it not?
The jury is out on that.
I know. Who shot first?
Yeah, it is. It's for the most part, it seems like people kind of side on that wasn't a sucker punch, but maybe it was. So
I love it, the idea of it being a sucker punch, because that shows Ryu is not just this perfect good guy. It shows, and they jump into his like evil side and such. And so to have him be flawed, I don't know. I feel like I can relate to that. All of you guys that are flawed in the comments, let us know.
Well, he tapped into the Satsui no Hado, right? And so he unlocked his evil intent to Dragon Punch him. So if he sucker punched him, that's perfect. It matches up well, and there's so much debate on that one, but yeah.
I choose to believe it that way. Even if the Capcom people and the guy that invented GIFs came out and said that you know, it's pronounced GIF and it wasn't a sucker punch, I choose to believe the opposite is true in my world. So
it's all good. That's what makes this stuff fun, right? So moving on to Street Fighter 2. This is unfortunately where things get really ambiguous, but there are still some solid clues that we can follow as to what happened. The main thing here is that M. Bison hosted this tournament, and it's sponsored by Shadaloo, right? That would be really awesome to go to that tournament and see like Shadaloo banners and like do some drugs and take some weapons and stuff with you on the way. But regardless,
I feel like we're just not on the same wavelength today, but go on.
maybe too many attending of Bison's tournaments, right? But anyway, so therefore, you could say that since Bison hosted the tournament and ran it, whoever defeats him in the end is the winner. You know, that it's not a bad rule because, I mean, he's the final boss, he's the final character, so whoever defeats him has got to be the champion, right? Well, Akuma decided to randomly enter the tournament himself without official approval. And we all know in the FGC, it is not cool to do that.
No.
Not even if you pay someone else for their spot. You can't really, you know, so not that would ever happen, but regardless, anyway, so Akuma waits till the end of the fight. Bison's getting out there, and Akuma just jumps out and Raging Demons and kills M. Bison. And this is backed up, of course, with Bison's body changing between like pretty much every game. He gets killed, and then he comes back with a new body, right? So anyway, since Akuma killed Bison, you could technically argue, and probably this is the case that, you know, the most likely one, that Akuma is actually the winner, even though he cheated to win. He killed Bison, and so if you kill the boss, you're kind of the winner.
So we're not going with it's a wash because like Ryu quit in the middle of it, and I think if I'm not mistaken, like Sagat was there, but then like because Ryu quit, he quit, or Ken quit. I don't know. There's a bunch of quitting as far as I remember in SF2. Which is not a good message to send to kids. It's like, hey, kids, don't do drugs, and also quit.
Yes.
And then, because then I guess, well, maybe the lesson is if you do that, then the demon monster comes in and then they're the winners, and you don't want that. So I know that Capcom has a bunch of underlying, really, really thoughtful and intuitive and insightful messages underneath their seemingly basic Street Fighter story.
Yeah. Dance with the Russian president. And drink vodka. Yes. So anyway, unfortunately, Akuma is the best answer we have because none of the other character stories really put them in a spot of actually winning the tournament. And so Akuma is the best official answer that we have unofficially.
I hope that the story for Street Fighter 6 is we keep having these tournaments and they're not going well. And all I want to do is have a tournament that works. And it's like Bison and he's all like, super sweet 16'd out about trying to get a tournament that just finishes. I think that they could just lower the stakes and have it be that, and that would be a lot of fun.
They could do it. That would work. Yes, it would match the MO of Capcom super well. But anyway, getting into next, we have Street Fighter 3. This is where Gil hosted this tournament for the Illuminati organization, and we have a clear winner here. Alex won this event. Alex won something,
I don't
John.
believe it.
I know. No one believes it. That's how come when you talk about who the Street Fighter 3 winner is, people are like, Fred? No, it's Alex. Alex won the event.
They did a Street Fighter 3?
Yeah, exactly. So he goes on. He wins every match he's in. He even beats Gil, but he fails to kill him in the end. And if Gil held back or kind of did whatever, but the question a lot of people have is, well, what happened to Ryu? And that matter is a little bit up for debate because Oro and Ryu apparently had a match and Oro basically kicked his butt. But Oro wants Ryu to be his successor eventually. Right? Like after, 15 years of kicking Ryu's butt or whatever, Oro feels like Ryu could finally be his successor and do that. He wants him to do his path. Oro doesn't want him running around and playing in a bunch of fighting game tournaments. He wants Ryu to be
Sounds
whatever
like my
he is,
dad.
like this old. Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of an interesting scenario, but basically when Oro beat Ryu, he didn't show up because like everyone thinks like, Oro would easily beat Alex. And then if Gil didn't hold back, he easily would have beaten Alex. So Alex is kind of a little bit of like a, maybe people don't have a lot of faith in him. And maybe he has the I give up outfit that he wears in Street Fighter 5 to kind of acknowledge that. There's a lot of things going on here.
He won, but the killers didn't show up and Gil was having a bad day. And there is certain Wednesday night fights like that where like somebody that you didn't expect would win. And then like because that's always an arcade, by the way, guys, an arcade is definitely like a kid's playground and there's clicks and all that kind of stuff. And there's definitely that feeling sometimes like, oh yeah, so-and-so won, but it was because, Snake Eyes didn't show up this week and Chris T had a cold and yada yada. So
yeah. The monitors were lagging, John. That's really what it comes down to.
Yes. Car alarm, the dog was barking and it's gone now, but it was there. Yeah. Support for the EventHubs podcast is brought to you by MANSCAPED today, which offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped has just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. And we have an exclusive offer for you today. If you go to manscaped.com, you will get 20% off and free shipping and handling if you use the checkout code EHubsPod when you check out. 20% off, free shipping and handling, and it lets them know that we sent you. And that's a really important part of the process.
Yeah. Manscaped was actually kind enough to send us both the perfect package 4.0, which includes not only the Lawnmower 4.0, but also the Crop Preserver, which is an anti-chafing ball deodorant, and the Crop Reviver, which is a ball spray toner. Both of these do wonders below the belt, leaving you feeling comfortable and looking confident. We need to look confident, John, and also smell like you care. And you know what, John? I tried this out with a wife last night, and she liked it.
Ooh.
So if you're trying to please the ladies, this worked on my lovely wife.
We know that the FGC doesn't exactly have the best resume, the best track record, the best perception, let's say, when it comes to hygiene. Well, fair enough. Let's start today. We have an opportunity. We can take a high quality product, and I've been using it. I've been using all of these. I deem them high quality. John, are they high quality?
Oh, they're great. They're
absolutely
great.
20% off, free shipping and handling, and we can begin dismantling a stereotype with the Lawnmower 4.0 and its accompanying ball products. One of the things I wanted to point out about the Lawnmower is it has a ceramic blade, which means less snags, less catching, less cuts, stuff like that. And when you're trimming your balls, that's like one of the most important parts about it. It also has a 4000K LED light, so you can see exactly what you're doing no matter how deep and dark you've allowed your pube forest to grow.
That light is amazing. It is so nice to have. I never knew I needed it until I tried this, and now I'm like, I'm never using anything else without that light on there because it's a ball saver. Also, Manscaped's going to take really good care of our audience out there because they can get 20% off.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, hey, it's a good deal. Just use that code EHubsPod at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Again, just punch in that code EHubsPod, unlock your confidence, and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Balls.
Yeah, but shout out to Alex for actually winning something that does not happen very often. And then finally, we get into Street Fighter 4, whose tournament was hosted by Sin, that organization, with Seth being the main person behind it. Once again, if you defeat the final boss, you are often considered the tournament winner. While a number of characters help bring Seth down, the person who delivered the final blow, John, do you have any idea who it was?
Is it Fei Long with a knife?
That would have been perfect in the study. But no, unfortunately, this one was one of the most popular characters in Street Fighter history, being Juri. Because a lot of people don't realize that Juri dealt the final blow. Seth's Tao, stomach, whatever thing he's got, she freaking smashes it in there and basically kills him off. She betrays him in the end. She's working for Sin, but she doesn't really care. She just wants to, cause chaos and other stuff like that, get revenge for her parents. She deals the final blow, but this is also backed off because she made off with his brain. And Juri in Street Fighter V puts Seth's brain into a new female body. And so you look at this. So a lot of people don't know this, that Juri, won the Street Fighter 4 tournament because, again, this stuff is not super well documented.
That's a headline on the front page, by the way. Always be contenting.
But it is backed up. It is backed up by her Street Fighter, or Seth's Street Fighter 5 story mode, because Juri shows up with his brain. She's got it. How did she get that? And of course, some kid was chewing bubble gum. It fell on the ground. Juri tripped and found Seth's brain. That could be the official explanation here, from Capcom, for all we know. But in terms of a storyline of what we have seen in both games, it looks like Juri won the tournament, if you consider whoever kills the end boss to be the winner.
And that's because so the reason I said the Fei Long thing is because when you win with Fei Long, I remember he just knifes Seth in the back and Seth dies, but that's not canonical, right? Because there's a bunch of versions where people, other characters beat him, but Juri's is the one, huh?
Yeah, well, this is from the best I could see. She had the most definitive proof because Fei Long does not show up in Street Fighter V with Seth's brain, kind of thing. This is Capcom's canon, and so did Ryu sucker punch God? Did he do this? It's like this is piecing it together as best we can, and it would be wonderful to have definitive statements from Capcom about this. Maybe we'll get them, maybe we won't. It's always been piecing stuff together. Outside of Street Fighter 1 is the only time they've definitively said who won in a tournament. So you basically have to look through all the lore, look through a bunch of books, look through a bunch of other things, and you can kind of piece stuff together. I think they've got it. I think they've got actual answers at Capcom HQ, but they're like, Street Fighter's plot, telling people about it, that's not going to happen. So,
well, it's good. It lets us do this here and have some mystery to it. So I had fun.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit more, John.
Oh,
that's it. Like that's actually the end of official tournament winners because there's no other tournaments. Because factually, Street Fighter Alpha, Third Strike, and Street Fighter V are not tournaments at all. They're actually just the characters roaming around the globe and fighting each other.
Capri.
And that's pretty much it. It's like there should be more winners, and you would think that there's actually some tournaments and stuff in there. They're not. These games, they're just like, hey, we're Street Fighter, so we're gonna roam around the streets and fight each other. So they live up to their name, right? And so there's actually only been 4 official tournaments in Street Fighter history. And so it's kind of an interesting thing. Like, there's been a lot of games, but there's been 4 official tournaments and 4 official winners, and man, that's all we got.
Huh.
Yeah.